You've seen it labeled low sugar, all natural, or even brain boosting. But what if the drink you reach for every morning was secretly speeding up your brain's aging process? Recent research has uncovered a troubling link between certain popular, healthy beverages and memory decline, brain fog, and even increased risk of dementia. You'd never expect something marketed as good for you to have these long-term effects. But that's exactly what's happening, and millions have no idea. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know what to avoid and what to drink instead to protect your brain. In one of the most eye-opening studies on brain health to date, researchers from Boston University used data from the long-running Framingham Heart Study to investigate the effects of diet on the brain. What they found stunned even experienced neuroscientists. The study tracked thousands of people over several years, using brain scans, cognitive testing, and dietary logs. Among the most surprising findings, individuals who consumed one or more servings per day of certain healthy drinks, like artificially sweetened beverages and processed fruit juices, showed significantly more brain shrinkage than those who drank them rarely or not at all. The brain scans revealed that people who regularly drank diet sodas or sugary fruit drinks had smaller overall brain volumes, especially in regions associated with learning and memory, like the hippocampus. Even more alarming, their memory scores were lower, and they were nearly 3 times as likely to develop dementia or stroke over time compared to non-consumers. This wasn't based on self-reports or assumptions. It was visible, measurable change inside the brain. Dr. Matthew Passe, the lead author of the study, noted, "We found that people who consumed just one diet soda per day had smaller brain volume. These changes are not trivial. They mimic patterns we see in early-stage neurodegenerative disease." He added that while people often turn to diet or fruit drinks to be healthier, they may unknowingly be doing long-term harm to their brain function. The most chilling part? This damage doesn't happen overnight. It builds gradually, silently, as you sip what you think is a smart beverage choice. The problem isn't the occasional indulgence. It's the daily habit, the ritual of drinking something that slowly interferes with brain chemistry, promotes inflammation, and accelerates cellular aging. These findings have since been echoed by additional research from Harvard and other institutions, showing that chronic intake of artificially sweetened or sugary beverages is consistently linked to poorer brain performance and earlier cognitive decline. Despite slick marketing and health claims on the label, the science tells a different story, one where these seemingly innocent drinks are quietly aging your brain year after year. So, what exactly is this so-called healthy drink that may be accelerating brain aging? It's not just one. It's a group of beverages we've been led to believe are good for us. Fruit juices with added sugars, diet sodas loaded with artificial sweeteners, and even vitamin waters that boast energy-boosting or antioxidant benefits. These drinks are often front and center in the health aisle, wrapped in colorful labels promising no fat, low calorie, or fortified with vitamins. They seem like a smarter alternative to soda or sugary coffee drinks, but the reality is far more complicated. Take fruit juice, for example. Even when labeled as 100% juice, it often contains a high concentration of natural sugars stripped of the fiber found in whole fruit. That means your blood sugar spikes rapidly, causing insulin surges that affect not just your body, but your brain. Then there are diet sodas and flavored waters with artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose. These chemicals can confuse your brain's reward system and disrupt neurotransmitter balance, especially dopamine and serotonin, which are crucial for memory, mood, and cognitive clarity. Vitamin waters might sound like a gift to your immune system, but many are packed with preservatives, colorants, and synthetic additives. Over time, these substances can promote oxidative stress and neuroinflammation, 2 major drivers of cognitive decline and aging in the brain. The irony is painful. You reach for these drinks because you're trying to make healthier choices. You're avoiding sugar, choosing vitamins, trusting the branding. But inside your brain, damage may be quietly unfolding. As one urologist put it, you think you're doing the right thing, but your brain might be paying the price. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially when so many of us have been unknowingly caught in this trap for years. But becoming aware of it is the first step toward protecting your brain's future. Aging is a natural process, and that includes the brain. Normally, as we age, certain cognitive functions like processing speed or memory retrieval may gradually slow down. This process is usually subtle and manageable, especially when supported by a healthy lifestyle. However, there's a big difference between normal brain aging and accelerated brain aging, and that difference often comes down to what we eat and drink daily. Accelerated brain aging happens when harmful influences like poor diet, chronic stress, lack of sleep, or toxic ingredients begin to damage brain cells faster than the body can repair them. Over time, this speeds up the decline in memory, focus, and even emotional regulation. Among the biggest culprits, sugary and artificially sweetened drinks. Let's break down some of the mechanisms behind this. First, there's neuroinflammation, inflammation that directly affects the brain. Just like your body swells when it's injured, the brain can also become inflamed due to repeated exposure to high sugar or artificial chemical intake. This inflammation disrupts communication between neurons and can interfere with memory formation, focus, and mood stability. Then there's oxidative stress, a process where unstable molecules called free radicals damage healthy cells, including neurons. Sugary drinks, especially those with high fructose corn syrup or artificial additives, are known to increase the body's production of these harmful molecules. Over time, oxidative stress can wear down brain structures and even contribute to diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. A lesser-known but equally damaging process is glycation. This happens when sugar molecules bind to proteins and fats in the body, creating what's called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These AGEs accumulate in tissues, including the brain, and accelerate aging by stiffening blood vessels, reducing blood flow, and damaging cellular function. Now imagine this visually. On one side of the screen, a healthy brain, full, smooth, vibrant. On the other, a brain affected by years of daily sugary or artificially sweetened drink consumption, shrunken in key areas, with inflamed pathways and slower neural activity. You might not notice these changes from the outside at first, but inside, the difference is night and day. When these three forces, neuroinflammation, oxidative stress, and glycation, are constantly triggered by what we drink, they begin to reshape the brain. Memory gaps grow wider. Focus becomes harder to maintain. Emotional balance feels more fragile. And all the while, we're wondering why things just don't feel as sharp as they used to. But here's the truth. This isn't inevitable. It's preventable. The brain is resilient, and once you remove the daily insults like these hidden harmful drinks, it has the capacity to heal, rebuild, and even grow new connections. The key is recognizing the damage early and choosing differently before it becomes irreversible. It often starts with little things so common you barely give them a second thought. You walk into a room and suddenly forget why. A name you've known for years sits just out of reach on the tip of your tongue. You find yourself rereading the same paragraph 3 times because you can't focus. Or by mid-afternoon, your brain feels foggy, your thinking slows, and everything just feels heavier. These moments might seem minor or chalked up to being tired or overwhelmed, but they can actually be the early warning signs of accelerated brain aging. The brain doesn't suddenly break down overnight. Decline usually starts gradually, with small lapses that people often dismiss as stress, lack of sleep, or just getting older. But these seemingly harmless glitches are often signals that something deeper is going on, especially when they become more frequent or noticeable. And more often than not, we don't connect the dots to something as simple as what we're drinking every day. Many people don't realize that brain fog, poor recall, and mental fatigue are not inevitable parts of life. They're often symptoms of a brain under constant low-level assault by inflammation, blood sugar imbalances, and disrupted neurotransmitter activity, all of which can be triggered by regular consumption of so-called healthy drinks loaded with sugars or artificial ingredients. But here's the encouraging part. The brain is incredibly adaptive. When you stop feeding it the things that silently harm it, like sugary fruit juices, diet sodas, or synthetic vitamin waters. You give it a chance to reset. People who cut these drinks from their routine often report improvements in just a few weeks. Clearer thinking, better memory recall, sharper focus, and more consistent energy throughout the day. It's not just about removing a bad habit. It's about giving your brain the environment it needs to thrive. You don't need to wait until things get worse. Those small lapses you're experiencing, they're your brain's way of waving a red flag. And by listening to that signal now, you might just prevent much bigger issues down the road. The choice isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. And sometimes a single change, like saying goodbye to that one daily drink, can make all the difference. If you really want to protect your brain, start by looking at the ingredient label on your favorite drink. It might look clean and simple at first glance, but buried in that small print are chemicals and additives your brain was never meant to process. These aren't just harmless extras. They're silent troublemakers that can chip away at cognitive health over time. One of the biggest offenders? Sucralose. Commonly found in zero-calorie drinks, it was originally thought to be safe because it doesn't spike blood sugar. But newer studies show it may disrupt the gut-brain connection and interfere with neurotransmitter signaling, especially dopamine, your brain's feel-good and focus chemical. Then there's aspartame, often used in diet sodas and flavored waters. Research suggests it may increase oxidative stress in the brain and promote neuroinflammation, especially dangerous in people who consume it daily. In some sensitive individuals, it's even been linked to headaches, mood swings, and memory problems. High fructose corn syrup is another major red flag. While it sweetens drinks effectively, it overloads your liver and can lead to insulin resistance in the brain. That means slower signal processing, impaired learning, and increased risk of degenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. Next on the list, the vague term natural flavors. This might sound wholesome, but it's often a catch-all term for dozens of lab-manipulated chemicals designed to mimic taste while offering no nutritional value. These compounds can disrupt the balance of brain chemicals and increase the load your body has to detoxify. Even something as seemingly harmless as citric acid, used to enhance tartness and preserve freshness, can be problematic when consumed frequently. Synthetic citric acid is often derived from mold and can aggravate inflammation in people who are sensitive to it. So, how do you spot a brain-unfriendly drink? Here's a simple rule. If your drink has more than 3 ingredients you can't pronounce, it's probably not brain-safe. If the label reads more like a chemistry experiment than a recipe, it's not doing your mind any favors. Choosing better starts with awareness, and reading those labels could be the small step that protects your brain from years of invisible damage. Meet Samira, a 47-year-old working mom who thought she was doing everything right. She made an effort to eat clean, exercised 3 times a week, and swapped sugary sodas for what she believed was a healthier option, a bottle of diet green tea every afternoon. It was labeled as zero sugar, antioxidant-rich, and metabolism boosting. For over 2 years, it became her go-to pick-me-up during work hours. But gradually, she started noticing subtle changes. She found herself forgetting small things. Why she opened a fridge, where she left her keys, or the name of someone she'd just met. Tasks that once felt easy began to take more effort. Her afternoon energy boost turned into a foggy slump. At first, she blamed stress or hormones. After all, midlife brain fog is common, right? It wasn't until a friend sent her an article about the effects of artificial sweeteners on cognitive function that something clicked. She turned the bottle over and saw sucralose listed among the ingredients, something she'd never paid attention to before. Curious and a little skeptical, she decided to stop drinking it for a few weeks and see what happened. Within 10 days, she noticed a shift. Her focus sharpened. Her energy became more consistent throughout the day, and the frustrating memory slips became less frequent. By the end of the month, she said it felt like a fog had lifted. She hadn't realized how much that one daily habit was affecting her mental clarity until it was gone. Samira's story isn't unique. It's a powerful reminder that even one harmless drink a day, if filled with hidden neurodisruptive ingredients, can subtly chip away at your cognitive edge. And that simple change, just removing one item, can have a profound impact on how your brain feels, functions, and ages. The good news is, once you know what to avoid, replacing harmful drinks with brain-friendly alternatives is surprisingly simple and even enjoyable. The goal is to nourish your brain, not just quench your thirst. And that starts with going back to basics. The best option? Water, plain and simple. Staying hydrated supports optimal blood flow to the brain, flushes out toxins, and improves concentration and mood. But if plain water feels boring, try infusing it with natural flavors, slices of lemon, cucumber, or fresh mint. These add a refreshing taste and bring in small amounts of antioxidants without any added sugars or chemicals. If you still crave that afternoon caffeine kick, switch to unsweetened green tea. When consumed in moderation, green tea can actually support brain function. It's packed with L-theanine, a compound that promotes calm focus, and EGCG, an antioxidant shown to protect brain cells from aging and oxidative stress. Just make sure it's truly unsweetened. Many bottled versions hide sweeteners or preservatives. Another excellent option is herbal tea, especially blends like ginkgo biloba or lion's mane mushroom. These herbs have long been studied for their cognitive benefits, including improved memory, sharper focus, and even neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells. They're caffeine-free, soothing, and easy to brew at home. You can also opt for electrolyte-enhanced water, especially if you're active or live in a hot climate. Just be sure to choose brands that don't contain artificial sweeteners, dyes, or natural flavor cocktails. Look for clean ingredient lists with minerals like magnesium, potassium, and sodium for proper brain and body hydration. Here's a simple, homemade, brain-boosting drink you can make in minutes. Brain Clarity Elixir. 1 cup filtered water. Juice of 1/2 lemon. A few slices of fresh cucumber. 1 teaspoon grated fresh ginger. A pinch of sea salt. Optional. A few drops of lion's mane tincture or a ginkgo tea bag, steeped and cooled. Stir it all together, chill, and sip throughout your day. It's refreshing, nourishing, and packed with brain-friendly compounds. Try swapping your usual drink for any of these for just 1 week. Pay attention to how your mind feels, your clarity, your memory, your mood. You might be surprised by how quickly your brain responds when you stop feeding it harmful ingredients and start giving it what it actually needs to thrive. Once you've removed harmful drinks from your routine, the next step is building a foundation that truly supports long-term brain health. It's not just about eliminating damage. It's about actively creating an environment where your brain can thrive, repair, and even grow stronger. The key lies in simple, consistent habits that anyone can adopt starting right now. First, stay regularly hydrated. The brain is made up of nearly 75% water, and even mild dehydration can impair memory, focus, and mood. Make water your default drink, and aim to sip steadily throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty. Add lemon or herbs if you need a little flavor, but keep it clean. Second, include omega-3 fatty acids in your diet. These essential fats, found in fatty fish like salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds, play a crucial role in maintaining the structure of brain cells. They also help reduce inflammation and support mood regulation. If you're not getting enough from food, consider a high-quality omega-3 supplement, especially one rich in DHA, the fatty acid most directly linked to cognitive function. Sleep hygiene is another pillar. During deep sleep, your brain flushes out toxins, repairs cells, and consolidates memories. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Limit screen time before bed, and maintain a regular sleep schedule. Good sleep isn't just rest, it's brain maintenance. Lastly, focus on blood sugar regulation through a balanced diet. Spikes and crashes in blood sugar, often caused by sugary drinks and processed snacks, wreak havoc on cognitive clarity and mood. Eat meals rich in fiber, healthy fats, and protein to maintain steady energy levels and protect your brain from glycation and inflammation. When combined with the removal of damaging drinks, these habits amplify your brain's resilience. You're not just avoiding harm, you're actively building brain power. And thanks to neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire and heal, it's never too late to make a change. Even if you've spent years stuck in unhealthy patterns, Small changes today can create real improvements in focus, memory, and long-term cognitive strength. Your brain is constantly adapting. Feed it right, care for it daily, and it will reward you with clarity, energy, and the ability to keep learning and growing for years to come. That one bottle in your fridge could be doing more harm than you ever imagined, but now you know better. You don't have to give up everything you enjoy, just the stuff quietly draining your brain's power. A few smart swaps can protect your memory, focus, and long-term brain health. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Don't forget to subscribe for more science-backed tips to keep your body and your brain younger, sharper, and stronger every single day.